3 things you must know before getting an Indian ringneck so that you are happy with your parrot and you know that an Indian ringneck is the right parrot for you. Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond, and you know it, this is not an Indian ringneck. You saw my Indian ringneck. She's up there in the tree being an Indian ringneck. If you are wanting to get blissed out, and if you want to learn how to create a more blissful bond with your parrot so that, for my mission, you don't want to rehome or surrender your parrot, then you're in the right place. If you know that this is Kailani, my macaw, my Catalina macaw, then you're used to hanging out. Thank you for being a fan. Let's get started. Are you gonna have some tea? Or did you already have enough? Oh, that tastes so good. All right, guys, so in this video, I've got Kailani because she's gonna demonstrate what most people want in a parrot, I hope. She is going to hang out with me. Not to say that Indian ringnecks don't hang out with you. She is going to let me pet her. She's not demonstrating well so far, is she? Come on, can I pet you? Hi, sweetie. Hi, Kailani. When most people think of a parrot, I'm not saying that they confuse it with a cat or a dog, but I'm saying I think that's how we're used to thinking of pets. Did I just say thinking twice? Anyway, and I think that because of that, we want a pet that we can hug and really cuddle with, that kind of thing. Kailani is very interested in me. She very much wants to bond with me. She very much has a position she takes when I'm gonna hug her. She just moves her neck like so that I can cuddle into her because she's accustomed to it, and she either likes it, tolerates it, or doesn't mind. I think she knows that I'm showing her affection, and I think she likes that. 3 things you must know about an Indian ringneck, because those Kailani behaviors are typical of more social parrots, but not of an Indian ringneck. Number 1, Indian ringnecks are Asiatic birds, and Asiatic birds, generally speaking, are far more independent than most parrots who are interdependent. What I mean by that is that while most parrots do want to bond more, they are more into the flock, they're interdependent. They depend on that social structure and they want to be with another parrot kind of thing, but they're not so dependent. When Kailani lost her friend, you know, Kailani's been fine. She's been moving on, so I'm fortunate. She's interdependent. Asiatic birds are very independent. Number 2 thing you must know before you get an Indian ringneck so that you're sure that that's the right parrot for you is because they're independent, it means that they are not very cuddly. Kailani's doing a terrible job right now of demonstrating how loving and sweet most parrots want to be with you. Hey, sweetie. Hi. She's letting me pet her, and again, my Indian ringneck's somewhere up there. Now, I'm going to tell you that my Indian ringneck in particular is number 1, female. I actually have 2. The male's not as tame, kind of working on him. In this matriarchal social structure, one of the things that happens is that the females are, I'm gonna just put it bluntly, they can be meaner, they can be more of the boss, and they can hurt a male. They can also hurt another female. They are more of the bully. Now, please don't get me wrong. I like Indian ringnecks. I have Indian ringnecks. They are stunningly beautiful. I kind of really like that my Indian ringnecks are more independent because it means that, unlike Kailani, they don't rely on me to be their flock and to kind of make their day. Kailani, without me during the day, she has a very hard day in the sense that she needs the social interaction. She needs to know I'm there, which doesn't explain why she's being a little naughty. She's not hurting me, but you've seen her lunging at me. She's trying to get my attention. Are you trying to get my attention? Hi, Kailani. Hi, Kailani. Can I pet you? Can I pet you? You want to step up? What you doing, sweetie? So Kailani's being a typical parrot. She wants attention. She's not quite sure how she wants it, but she has that social need. Milo, my Indian Ringneck's up in the tree, entertaining herself, doing just fine. And now I've been abandoned by both of them. So please don't get me wrong. When I say that the female Indian Ringneck can be more of a bully and can be more mean, it's because they literally can be. I have an Indian Ringneck that's not as nice. I had another female, and I was starting to tame her some, but I rehomed her because I decided that there would probably be a home that would be better for her so that she would interact more. And sure enough, I found a fantastic home. She has a male buddy Indian Ringneck, and they get along. Not like this, because most parrots don't get along like that. Now, there's Kailani. She's left me. But Azure just went to a place where she clicked better because Milo, my Indian Ringneck, wasn't being nice to her. I don't want to rehome my birds, but when I find that there's a situation that would be better, when I feel like one of them isn't in the best circumstances, for example, Milo not being nice to Azure, then I want to do what's best, what I think is best for my parrots every time. So that's why I found Azure a new home. And that's why I got Julian, because I'm hoping that he will be able to draw Milo in and make more of a bond. We shall see. He's still a little young, so I need to wait for him to be a little older. So my point is, don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like Indian Ringnecks. It's that you have to understand that they are not like most parrots. When you see videos of really cute Indian Ringnecks or kikes doing all these cute things, those are parrots that are highly trained, or they're keepers, so to speak. Their humans are spending a lot of time with them. So yes, your Indian Ringneck can come around. Milo actually is bonded to me. She actually does like to spend time with me. That's why I was hoping to do the video with her, but I let her out and she was like, you know what, there's palm seeds up there and I know it and I'm gonna go get them. That's what I want. She's used to getting to come out here. She's used to getting to go, and the palm seeds, they're starting to get old, so her time is shrinking. Several of my birds like to go up and eat them, and it's time. So she was like, you know what, that's where I want to go, that's what I want to do, because she's more independent. So it's not a bird that you're going to bond with as deeply. It's a bird that you're really going to need to put the time into. You're really going to need to spend as much time being with them, maybe training them, because they can be sweet. Julian, he's not as tame, but I already think he's sweeter than Milo. And that's just the way it goes. So with any species, anytime, their individual personalities can trump the way that their species behaves. So Julian so far is sweeter. He likes taking treats from our hands. Milo does too, but you know, it's just different personalities. The point is, you really want to really be aware that they're super independent. They're not necessarily going to form a deep bond with you. Number 3, the third thing I think you really need to know about Indian Ringnecks before you get one is that most of the time, my Indian Ringnecks are pretty quiet, but when they're not, they can make a loud screech. Now, I'm going to say that if you're like in an apartment, it can be enough that your neighbors are going to hear it and complain. It's usually not like the Indian Ringneck is screaming all day long and your neighbors are going to go insane. But sometimes the Indian Ringnecks do. So if you want to get an Indian Ringneck and you are totally fine with the fact that they're independent, you're like, you know what, I have my own life. So that's actually probably a good thing. If you're okay with the fact that you won't form as deep of a bond, you're like, well, that's okay. I'm going to enjoy my Indian Ringneck. I'm going to spend time with them. My lifestyle is such that when I'm home, I'm going to let them be out. I'm going to let them be around me so that we can bond. But I understand they're just not going to come to me for pets and cuddles. And, you know, they might come some, but not a lot. Not like most parrots. It's not going to be like what I see in most other parrots. if that works for you, then you can decide, so they aren't quiet for parrots. They can be pretty loud, but since they're going to be around me, I'm going to work with them. Maybe you feel like you can work with that. I think that if I was in an apartment and I was going to get an Indian ringneck, I think I could work with that. I do think that I would get 2, and I would have 2 cages in case I need 2 cages. And you know what, with Indian ringnecks, I think I would plan on that. I'd be like, you know what, I'm going to have 2 cages. I'm going to open both doors when I'm home. I'm going to try to spend a lot of time with them. I'm going to let them come out and I'll see what they do. Maybe they'll go into each other's cages, maybe not. I'll keep my eye on them, because if I have a female, I know that she could corner another female or another male and injure them. So I know that I'm going to have to supervise, but you know what? I'm going to plan on having 2 cages. These are the things that you really need to know about an Indian ringneck, because it's not like, even a dog you can't just leave in your house. They're going to eat your shoes when they're young or when they're new to you. But at some point, like a lot of the time with cats and dogs, we just let them go in our house. We're like, here, kitty, here's the cat box. Here's your food. I'll see you later. I'll pet you. You'll purr. It'll all be great. Hey, dog, I'll take you for a walk. You'll let me hug you. We're going to bond, because dogs are man and woman's best friend, and they just automatically love us, with few exceptions. Your Indian ringneck's just not going to be like that. So as long as you understand those 3 things about your Indian ringneck, I would get 2, and I would have 2 cages, because that's how I would plan to try to avoid my Indian ringneck screaming and being unhappy. Because even though they're independent, it doesn't mean that they are alone in the wild. They are still in sometimes huge flocks, but they're just not really bonded and connected. And like my green cheek conures, I say that they are attached at the cheek, because my green cheek conures are often in physical proximity, touching each other. My Indian ringnecks aren't like that. So I would still get 2, so that they have the feel of a flock when I'm not home. But that way they also, I still can bond with them, and they are good, and I'm hoping that they aren't going to be loud. There's the 3 things that you need to know, so that hopefully you're in a much better place. You know this is the right bird for you. You know kind of some of perhaps the best plan is to have a successful bond and not a super loud screaming Indian ringneck that you love, that you can bond with, and that you can have a blissful bond with. Thank you for joining me in this featherless video. I feel so abandoned. She left me. Milo flew over to the umbrella. She left me. Here, I'll show you. This is cute. Milo is now, let's see if you can see her, taking a bath. It rained. Some of the water accumulates there in the umbrella, and she goes and she takes a bath. She's independent. She takes care of herself. She'd rather do these things than hang out with me. Please be sure to like and post below. It really helps my juice. I love hearing about your experience with your parrots. And if you have any questions, please be sure to post below. Also, catch you next time.